Hey everyone, and thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Justin, and the Toronto Maple Leafs are set to play the Anaheim Ducks on Wednesday night. And over the last few days in practice, the Leafs have been garnering a lot of attention online for their projected lineup and their forward group. Some very interesting line combinations that have garnered a lot of skepticism online, and I want to give my opinion on it really quick here today. For this game, the Leafs are actually fortunate enough to have pretty much a completely healthy forward group for Wednesday night's game against Anaheim, something that the Leafs haven't really had an opportunity to deploy for the majority of half a season so far. So Sheldon Keefe has already come out and said that these lineups are what he's been thinking of and planning for months and months now. And that is the idea of splitting up Matthews, Marner, and Nylander. As you can see here, the forward group for Wednesday night's game are Matthews, Bunting, Kasha, Tavares, Mikheyev with Marner, and then Nylander with Kampf and Kerfoot. As I've already stated, a lot of fans online are very skeptical of this, especially because they see it as a demotion for William Nylander, but I love this idea. This is a very short-term opportunity for Sheldon Keefe to explore what he's got with this forward group and what he's able to do with it and be a little bit creative. And it's in no means a permanent solution. I don't think we're finishing the year with this lineup. But what it does do is give us an idea of, again, how we can be creative with the lineup and be versatile so that come the playoffs, we have no surprises. We are able to adjust the lineup however it needs to be so that we can win any given game. Last year in the playoffs, Sheldon Keefe had always gone to stacking up lineups, going with a lineup like Matthews with Tavares and Marner on one line. And that is a good idea, but what ended up happening was the other team was able to just shut down that line completely, and it made us have a very difficult time of scoring and producing scoring opportunities when all of our big guys were on one lineup. Well, this is an opportunity to explore what the exact opposite would be. Separate the big guys so that it's extremely difficult for the opposing team, whoever it may be, to match up against them. And Sheldon Keefe so far this season has been very big on deploying players in very specific ways, whether it be specific defensive zone draws, offensive zone draws, power play situations, neutral zone situations. He's very meticulous in making sure that he's setting up his players to succeed in their certain role. And we've seen it. Alex Kerfoot is having a career season so far this year because of the way he's being deployed versus last year as a third line center shutdown position that just didn't suit him. Meanwhile, David Kampf in that situation, it succeeded for him as well because that is the kind of player he is. So again, it's all about deployment and usage, and therefore I don't see any opposing team in the entire NHL being able to completely stifle three lines when you've got Matthews, Marner, and Nylander separated. What I think a lot of people are forgetting as well is think back to the 2016 Pittsburgh Penguins team. That team won the Stanley Cup, and part of it was they had this surprising line that just could not be stopped. And that was their third line, their HBK line, Hagelin, Bonino, Kessel. It was a lethal line that was responsible defensively, but did an excellent job at putting the puck in the net because no other third line could contain them. And as I look here at the line projections for that game, well, it's actually listed that they were the second line because they were so productive, but that puts Evgeny Malkin on the third line. You've got Crosby and Malkin outside of that, separated on different lines themselves. Do you think Evgeny Malkin considered it a demotion? He's one of the best players in the entire league, especially in 2016. It wasn't a demotion, it was a change in deployment, and it worked out brilliantly. They won the Stanley Cup. Now, I'm not going as far as saying that this kind of move for Sheldon Keefe is going to win the Leafs the Cup. I'm just saying that we need to be a little bit more open-minded about it because everybody that I've seen commenting online has just been saying it's a terrible idea. It's a demotion for Nylander. It's going to ruin the mojo in the lineup. It's going to, I don't know, you're not putting your team up for success if you're separating them. But I would beg to differ, and especially, like I said, as a short-term experiment to understand what you're able to do, be creative, move players around the lineup. Let's say there are injuries in the playoffs or unexpected scenarios. You never know what's going to happen. It's always important to use this opportunity in the regular season to see what you've got. So again, my opinion, I love it. I think that as long as you keep deploying Nylander and Kerfoot in appropriate times and you don't hinder their ice time too much, maybe by a minute max, this is going to be a success. I think we'll see that third line dominate the puck because no other team is going to be able to stop them. And if they do and they focus on that third line, well, then that opens up all the more room for Matthews, Tavares, and Marner. Austin Matthews is a player that can produce offense on his own. He doesn't need much with him, but Andrzej Kasha has been a very surprising, pleasant delight this year, being able to put the puck in the net and has been high-flying offense, supporting on the rush, defensively responsible. So I don't see how this is going to impact the play of Matthews, and putting Marner and Tavares together, what can go wrong there? So again, I would appreciate hearing your thoughts as well. Let me know in the comments down below. What are your thoughts about the lineup changes? Do you think it'll be a success? Do you think it'll be a failure? Again, it's a short-term experiment, so we'll find out starting on Wednesday night against Anaheim. Until then, I'm looking forward to seeing your comments, and I'll see you in the next video.